This week, Isabel's knee replacement operation. The choir's mysterious rash. And an emergency call to a diabetic patient.
Gardening today has been somewhat interrupted in the course of the morning. So far, I've managed to get a couple of rows of broad beans in, and I'm just setting this row up for another row, and then hoping to get some spinach in later. There we go again. Dr. Brewster, can I help? Hello, Skipton, Townhead 3, over.
Townhead 3, pass your message, please, over.
Hello, can you just put an ambulance on standby? I probably require him for a diabetic to go into Airedale. I'll come back to you in about 10 minutes. Over.
Roger, is he in Settle, Dr. Brewster?
Yeah, from Settle. Over. This is a diabetic fella who's been vomiting. It rang me just now, tells me he's been vomiting for two days. He sounds pretty horny, so... You've been at it 2 days, eh?
Yeah.
You need some fluid, don't you? You're gonna get it, and you know where too, don't you? Eh? Why the hell didn't you let me know before, you crazy bugger? Eh?
Oh, I didn't want to be a fuss. Oh, for a really good pint.
Like to come down to Craven, eh?
Water or something I could keep down.
Spin up that arm, lad. Keep it there, will you? Well, just give me a quick estimation of his blood sugar, because if he hasn't eaten or drunk for a couple of days and he's been vomiting, he'll probably be fairly ketotic. And what he needs more than anything, as he's just told you himself, is fluid. He wants to go down to the Craven for a 3 or 4 pint session, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's reading, in fact, way off centre. All right. Well, now, we're going to have to get you in, lad, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Eh?
Shit.
You want a drip and some fluid, and that's what you are going to get.
Oh, some fluid, that's it.
No.
Can't I drink it?
No, well, you know very well you'll just puke it, won't you?
No.
All right. He's in a little bit of coma, and he wants some fluids fairly badly, but he'll travel okay.
No,
he might vomit.
No, the other thing is, we've got a gentleman in the ambulance on his way down to Airedale with an RTA on. He's a sitting patient, but he's just got an elbow injury.
He'll be all right.
Can you just have a quick look at him?
How long ago was the car crash? 20 minutes, half an hour?
Half an hour.
And were you the only person involved?
Yes, yeah.
And your hand is quite cold, and your fingers are tingling, are they, a bit?
They have been, yes. Not too bad at the moment.
And you don't like bending it much?
Not really, no.
Not at all. Where's the pain when you do?
It's around the,
All around
the elbow itself.
Yeah. Okay. The problem is that the nerve, as it comes around the elbow, has been a bit bashed as well.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be quite all right.
Right.
But we're going to have to X-ray and just see where it's broken and how near to the nerve the edge of the bone is, you see. All right.
Yeah.
And you're going to have company. You're going to have some company as well.
Just to keep it
all right. He'll be with you in about 30 minutes.
Ready?
He vomited into a bin while he was just as soon as I arrived, and there's puke all over the carpets. So we're having a great party.
Just 2 minutes then, Peter. All right, just relax. 9472, leaving scene for Airedale, over.
Roger, 9472, 1148, over.
Roger. Right, we're off now, Peter.
Thanks, man, myself.
I'm not going to drink.
Yes.
How are you sure?
Scotty, would you see if you can get Dr Brown? I've just rung him at home, he's not in.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could possibly ring Anna and just see if he's away or... because I'd like to speak to him. Just when I'm away. All right.
Yes, okay, right. He's not on duty nearly as much as he used to be. I mean, it's only one weekend in 5 now. It used to be, you know, that we just couldn't get out at all, really, except for our Wednesday half day. I mean, he used to do 3 surgeries on a Saturday, finishing at 7:30 on a Saturday night. So, you know, things are a lot better than they used to be. All the wives get a small allowance for being inconvenienced, which I think is as it should be, really. I think of the years that my mother did it for absolutely nothing at all the time.
The World this weekend, this is Nick Clark. The headlines today. As the clearing up continues in central London, the police have denied losing control of the rioting which followed yesterday's anti-poll tax demonstration. At least 50 inmates are on the roof of Strangeways Prison in Manchester in a protest overkill.
Hello, Willie. How are you?
I don't think I'm no different much.
See, you've got a good nurse. Eh? I see you've got a good nurse.
Yeah, I can't eat. I'll swallow. No, it's about all right.
Let's have a bit more fish.
Can't get it down, it goes round and round.
Well, what if we get you a drink of water?
No, it wouldn't make any difference.
No, just breathe for me. Big as you can. All right, back you go. You've got to get a certain amount of fluid. I'm not that much bothered about your food, but we do care about the fluid.
Well, I'll have tea and coffee and stuff, eh?
Mm. All right. His chest is quite good, quite a lot better. As you heard me say, just concentrate a bit on the fluid.
But you won't.
Very difficult.
He had some tea this morning.
Yeah, you made him a drink, didn't you?
He had a bit.
Not a lot.
That really annoys me. It's you hooting your horn at me.
Oh, sorry, no.
One phone call for you, that's all.
Don't have a listen in. Hello. Good morning, sir. Cholesterol results. It's smashing, is your cholesterol, 3.8. So that's, well, it's, there isn't any such thing as should be. On the whole, the lower it is, the better.
So I sent him down to Edo, basically, for an X-ray. But he could well have been fractured.
What did you take for the sciatica? So it hasn't really been bothering you much, the sciatica, until last night.
But don't feel frightened about suggesting that they come back to see you. None of us minds you seeing our patients. Well, if we do, we'll tell you about particular patients. But as a general rule, you're welcome to see anybody at all. Okay. You know, Barry's been a trainer a long time, and so I think the patients have got used to having a young doctor.
Sure.
Who's they're not quite sure of their role. You know, they're not always sure if you're qualified or.
Neither am I. One of the things that's going to be very strange is going in, instead of seeing people in on your own ground.
Yeah.
With your white coat on and everything else. It's going actually into the home.
Right. There's something of a voyeur in GPs. I think that's one of the nice. I found one of the nice things about doing general practice is to go and see people in their homes, because it gives you an insight into how people live, and it's interesting to see their furniture and their house and the view from the window and how they manage and what there is there and who else lives there and what the relationships are.
Sure.
And how everything works.
Sure.
We're going up to see a young mum called Diane Wood, who's just had her first baby, a little boy called Richard, who was born down in Airedale Hospital about a week ago now. She lives up on a pretty remote farm. It's about 15 miles from the practice and about 4 miles from the nearest decent-sized village. I can find it. She normally would be very much involved, being a farmer's wife, with doing all the lambing, so they're struggling a bit on the farm without her help. So today really is just a chat to make sure feeding's going okay and the mum's happy with everything. I think this is it here. So you're getting much sleep?
Not too bad, yeah. I was awake about 3 o'clock this morning and then again at 7.
Right.
So,
And the midwife's quite happy with everything?
yeah.
She? Right.
Yeah, the health visitor tomorrow.
Right.
Going to weigh him, see how he's going on.
Good.
See how much he's put back on.
Yeah,
So he's
it's
lost
probably
so much.
yeah, he'll probably back up to normal now, I would have thought, if he's feeding well.
It was extraordinary. Last night, 6 of these young chaps who we've got for this IAPS music course came out in spots and wheals all over their bodies. They were all in one dormitory.
All in one dorm?
All in one dorm, all in top bunks, and really got themselves quite distressed by this. One in particular worried me quite a bit. He was spotty all over.
Are there any comedians amongst them?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, itching powder?
This is the young man.
Hello. Now,
Dr.
pleased to know
Brewster.
you. You've got these spots. I want to have a look at them. Let's go in here, away from the madding crowd. They were all over here. They're pretty well gone now.
Particularly on his tongue, actually, but and his arms.
Yeah. Are you itching now at all?
Not very much,
No.
just occasionally.
Yeah.
2, 3.
Nice and strong. Very good. You can sneak in that door if you like.
Thank you.
Horace.
The rash has gone. I just wonder about the itching powder job. I don't know.
They might have something there.
They're a fairly game little group, aren't they?
Second postnatal visit's usually fairly routine like that, really, just a bit of a chat. It's a bit of a joke in some ways, especially for me as a trainee and without a family, being expected to make clicking noises about how to bring children up, and better off taking my mum with me, really.
I'm just going down to see Josephine Eccleston. She is a remarkable lady who lives half a mile away, and she's been suffering from ovarian cancer for about 18 months now. And she was told last week, Dr. Crawford told her that she got some lung secondaries, which was bad news. And in fact, this morning she had a sudden attack of dyspnea or breathlessness, which is associated with her heart failure, partly. And I whipped down in the early hours and gave her some stuff and popped back by about 11, and she was a good deal better. But Josephine and the whole family know the score, that the chips are down. And it's going to be a fairly difficult ride. We've got a lot of, quite a few patients at the moment who are terminally ill, and sometimes death it seems so unjustified, so unfair. And that, I find that quite difficult to cope with.
Now, last night when I was here, and I was on the same medicine last night, Francis, thank you very much. And we were talking, really, the problem you were facing then was there was some further chemotherapy you could have, having had quite a bit already, and hence the hair loss and things like that. Yeah. And whether you should go in for a second and rather more severe course. And Francis and you were asking me whether or not you should go for it. And of course, this is a difficult thing to answer.
It is the moment, yeah.
We've talked about it, if there's a chance with this chemotherapy of giving another 12, 2 years.
Yeah.
Quite willing to think about it.
Yeah.
But if you're just talking 2 or 3 months extra, to suffer with, you know, for that extra 3 months, we don't want to know, really.
No. Well, I think that's a very reasonable, very sensible point of view. And I must say your courage is quite remarkable.
Well, as I say, just but sorry for these lot that, you know, but I'm not frightened or out like that.
Yeah.
Not one bit.
Yeah.
So, but like I say, I've had a very good family.
You have
I
indeed.
still have.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Oh, they're fantastic. You know, well, Fran and all.
Yeah.
Of course, 2 grandchildren.
Yeah. How many grandchildren have you?
2.
Just 2, yeah.
And I'm just besotted with them.
Yeah. What did he tell you this morning?
Stephen,
what did he say?
Well, I didn't realise what had happened, and I brought Stephen up. We went upstairs, and he got straight into bed with her like he usually does. And then, with this funny breathing, he says, "What's she bloody doing that for?" Just get a bloody sandwich.
How old is he?
5.
Oh, my God. It's the right language in the Eccleston family.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Not done.
These corridors are so long, it takes a while to get round. You see, even I'm lost for the moment now. 6, 7. Sorry, 7. Here we are.
No, which, of course, both the knees are quite severely affected, aren't they? And also your feet too. Yes. But the skin's quite intact on the feet, I think, isn't it? So, apart from the odd little bit, there's a little bit of a sore bit there, isn't there?
Yes, it's just developed.
That just worries us a little bit. Yeah, yeah. But
I think it was a corn and it went.
You're on those prednisone pills a bit, aren't you? So they tend to slow the healing a little bit.
It's on, I think, 2 milligrams a day, Medrone.
Yes. We always mark these legs with indelible pens so that when you're asleep we know which leg to operate. Now what we're hoping to do tomorrow is to open it up down the front, write it like a trouser crease, and then remove the surface of the joint that's been damaged by the arthritic process and put in a metal piece above and a plastic piece below. And if things are going nicely, we'll start you walking on it just as soon as you can, and a bit of gentle movement.
Now this is Bryn Rayner, who we've seen before, with his brain tumour, which was removed, and we saw he had a very tidy scar on the back of his head last time we saw him. Where does the swelling actually come? Where does it?
My stomach here,
There.
the stomach there, and my cheeks, and sometimes it puffs up round my eyes. Yes, I can put 6 or 7 pounds on from breakfast time to going to bed. The problem down there is I'm sort of that shape. Yeah. And I have a heck of a job to hang on to me trousers.
Isn't that what they call it? Pear-shaped, isn't it? Isn't that the...
I was going to buy him some braces yesterday, but he fell, didn't he? So we had to come home. So no braces.
Yeah, nothing tender there.
Just a little bit when you dig your fingers in,
Yeah.
but nothing really. See, I've developed a bosom a bit like a sumo wrestler as well.
Stop, shut up a minute, I'm trying to...
Sorry.
Just relax again, just breathe quietly. Slightly open mouth and just... The problem is the steroids cause this extracellular fluid And I was just making sure that there was nothing else, because it's the sort of thing you do. You assume it's something because you know it's something, but you've got to look to make sure it's nothing else, sort of thing. Now, I think Michael, who we've just seen, is okay. I think that he'll be okay. I think that stomachache is just a bit of tension for the concert this afternoon.
Yes.
What about the itch?
Gone. Totally gone.
Has anybody
Nobody's
come
owned
clean?
up. Nobody's had any ideas on it at all.
This is the, just over here, the hill, on the hill there where I buried old Foss the other day. That's my old sheepdog. All three of my dogs are buried there. He was going off his legs and he was blind. So we sort of sat with him by the Arga for the whole of one evening and got the vet round, and that was that.
Leaders of the main professions in the health service have called on the government to slow down the reform of the NHS. They've predicted that otherwise the service faces chaos and collapse. But the Health Secretary has insisted that he's not going to change course now.
Would you please do a copy letter to Mr. Kenneth Horton, Conservative Party agent, 19 Otley Street, Skipton. Letter reads, date, Dear Mr. Horton, having voted for the Conservative Party for all of my voting life, I regret that I find myself compelled to resign from the Conservative Party. Stop. My resignation is as a direct result of the insistence of the present government to force through the White Paper. It has been a dreadful exhibition of the worst kind of unreasonable and compulsive man management. Stop. I do not wish to protract... Stop. Para. I do not wish to protract this letter, nor do I think my own resignation will make very much difference, comma, but I must insist that any party that barters with the nation's health is on a hiding to nothing, because whatever else, health is primary. Stop. Yours sincerely, DSB, etc. Put that on my desk, will you, when you finish? Thanks. It's a pity I've had to write it. I've been sort of considering it for a while. But I really have no alternative, as I think I said in that letter. We've just got to put a bit more into health. And I'm not talking just about pouring money into it, but we've got to take a greater accept that a greater part of the nation's wealth should be spent on health.
We tend to use iodine and stuff for the prep. Let the chemicals do the work rather than scrubbing all with germs. That's lovely. Will that go up a little bit more, just to keep the patient's line of sight away from us? We're using a spinal anaesthetic, so the patient can't feel anything, but they can hear what we're doing and what we're saying. I mean, the post-operative recovery is much better in this type of anaesthetic. Now we'll open up the knee by coming down the side of the tendon. Not much bleeding because the patient's got a tourniquet on, so.
How much does this bother you?
Not throughout day. It's an alarm clock in the morning.
Is it what
2
time?
2 o'clock time.
2 o'clock time?
Aye.
I started wearing a new pair of slippers.
Aye.
And this foot, it started to sort of draw.
Do your feet get to feel cold?
No, not to, in myself they don't, but my wife says they do in bed.
Mm-hmm. Well, she should know.
She should know.
I think it was last week sometime I did it.
And what was it you put in?
One of those halibut capsules, you know, the halibut oil
For the
capsule.
fish oil things. And can you hear out of this left ear at all?
Well, this is the worst one.
Can you hear much at all now? Do you
I
think
can
it's
hear
still
a
in?
bit.
Right, let me just have a look, see what's... There's certainly something in there still.
Can you hear it? You can't hear the baby's heart, can you? You can't. I can't at the moment. But now I can.
My ear ached a bit and I thought it would perhaps cure it.
Clear it with a bit of oil, right. I don't think this is coming.
Is it coming out?
No, I'll go and ask Dr Brewster to have a look at it, all right.
That's good. This is a trial identical to the thing we'll finally use. Fits like a glove, so when it goes on with the cement, it'll be nice and tight. Now, final check with the naked eye, make sure we're happy with what we're doing. I think we're fairly happy, aren't we?
Now, can you hold that for me again?
This?
Right, yeah, like that.
Yeah.
All right. That didn't hurt, did it?
No.
Oh, there it is, look.
Is it come?
Ah, there he is.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right.
That's marvellous. Anyway, put in a few buns if you want a cup of tea.
That's very kind, isn't it? Lovely. We'll share those between us.
Thanks
very much.
I'll never do that again.
No, you won't, will you?
Hello?
Hello.
Well, you're all zipped up.
Good.
New knee. Quite pleased with it. Went in nicely.
Good.
So we're just covering it up a bit, and then the sister's going to wrap some bandages around you and things.
Yeah.
You okay?
Very nice, thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it?
Say that, yeah.
I don't know about that. I quite enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, nurse. It's Dr Brewster here, Settle.
Oh, hello.
I'm inquiring about Isabella.
Oh, yes, the knee replacement. She came back from theatre a couple of hours ago.
Yeah.
She's in some slight pain around the knee at the moment,
Yeah.
but doing quite nicely.
Okay.
I'm very cheerful.
Well, give Isabel my love, will you?
Okay, Doctor.
Bye.
Bye.
That's marvellous. I'll go off on my ski holiday now, a happy man.